Hello everyone, Asset Alliance here. Today we will be talking about a new indicator which I've been working on for a bit, and we finished coding everything, updating everything about a month ago. Now I've decided to publicize it. It's go back time, which is also vortex calculations paired together for HTF, MTF, and LTF highs and lows predetermined by time. Now, it's not only highs and lows, it is also the highest probability discount and premium of each of their sequence. So they are high probability PD arrays which you can use on HTF, MTF, or LTFs. So compared to go back time, which only works on the 1 minute up to the like 3 minute or even 5 minute, mine will work on all the time frames that I will be showing, but it will work on pretty much every time frame you need. So yeah, let's get on with it with the rules. How it works: each tack is the start or end of the previous or next sequence. As I said, each sequence has a certain amount of candles which you will have an automatic bias for. So it's a sequence, right, from one tack to the other. Each tack can be the low or the high of a swing, as I said, but also a high probability PD array. My team's indicator compared to go back time will be available on these time frames. So 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 12 minute, 15 minute, 24 minute, 30 minute, 45 minute, 90 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour, 12 hour, 15 hour, daily, weekly, and monthly. Fractaling everything, as I just said, if you fractal everything right from the weekly, daily, 15 hour, 4 hour, you do your top-down analysis with that, you'll have an automatic bias. And I'm not talking about reactions or anything. I'm talking about catching the low or the high of the whole move, or having a whole sequence, let's say a sequence of 30 hour, 45 hour, because on the 15 hour you're going to have multiple candles in between each sequences. With all of these paired together, you'll have an automatic bias. Now, if you're only scalping, you can use a 12 minute or 15 minute and just use the 1 minute as your entry time and use the 15 minute as your bias, so you'll have about 45 minutes of bias in each sequence and just try to scalp everything right there. And pretty much the rule is, if the tack creates a low, it equals bullish. If it creates a high, it equals bearish. If it's a parent candle, it's an accumulation. So you only trade the lower time frame sequences instead of using, let's just say, the 4 hour parent candle. And the rules in my other video about parent candles will apply here, right? Doesn't mean that attack is a parent candle that it doesn't work. It just means that you're gonna have to pair up these two concepts together pretty much. Now we'll be looking at examples of the indicator. First, I want to be sure to make this clear. This is not a free indicator, so for the people who are not able, who do not want to add a automatic bias to their system, do not watch this video. This is a video for people in my group or who's been in my channel for a bit, who know that my concepts are pretty fucking nice. And yeah, if you want to buy them, it's about $100. I will be giving away a 50% discount in a little bit when we get our full system out, which will be in about 2 weeks or maybe a week. We're gonna have our whole system out, and I'll be doing a 50% discount, so it'll be about $55 or something like that. But yeah, I'll have to show you all right there. Let me a sec just to put everything on. All right, so we're back on current day on NQ on the 3 minute time frame. The best time frames to work with tech are powers of 3. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 24. You know, that's why these time frames are the ones available that I've voted in. But yeah, the best time frames to use would be the powers of 3. Now, keep in mind that each tech candle, yes, can be the low or the high, but let's say you have an inside bar or you have a candle that doesn't take a low or a high, you will have to look at the previous candle or at the candle right after it. Most of the time, it will be the current tech, but let's say that you make an imported low or an imported high reacting or sweeping off of a previous liquidity or off of a previous BISI, and you already got a reaction, and the next stack was the big imbalance candle or the displacement, then you can in your mind think that it is going to be the candle right before, which gave the reaction, which would be the protected low pretty much. So just looking at the 3-minute, we can look at the current days, well, not current day, but yesterday pretty much, because we're on the weekends. That's why I decided to make this video. It's I have a little bit of time this weekend. Let's go to 18, start of day. Now it works way better during New York times, but Asia will work too. It's just that we accumulate a lot on NQ during Asia, so it is better if you do use macros. So let's say an XX45 to an XX15. So that would be the basic macros. I do not use those macros. I have my own time cycles, my own time theories with my team, which we will be making public in about 2 weeks. But for now, the most basic ones you can use are the 45-15. Now in Asia, this doesn't quite apply. You can still use that. It's 100% a macro usable. But in Asia, this does not apply much, right? So it will help you, but again, it's way better in New York. So let's look at this, right? We're on 18, new day. This candle here, also there's this symbol under it. I'd recommend just taking it off and looking at it your own self, since the symbol is not coded right? Most of the time it's just gonna appear under the candle even when it's a high. So we're still gonna have to work around on this. But most of the time, I'd recommend just not using the symbol right under it. So that's something you can take off right there. The name is in Japanese because for a bit we didn't want to make it public. So that's something we didn't want people to be able to really get the name out in a way, because they couldn't even spell it, you know. But yeah, pretty much you have your tag here, right there. That was a low, okay, for us. But then you see that you had your new opening gap here, and then you had your important high after sweeping this previous day high, not previous day high, but previous day cycle high. So this would have been your actual high, right, from this tech candle. Going for lower prices until the next sequence, new sequence, this would have been your low, right? Reacted off of this tech candle right there, reacted off of this tech candle, but then higher prices until the next sequence. Now keep in mind we're on the 3-minute, so we won't see a long time in between those sequences, but that's why you gotta fractal it right. So from this to this, new sequence, -1 is your actual high into this SIBI, but then lower prices until the next sequence. New sequence, this one was a low. You can just use this as a sweeping property, and then give out higher prices. Low equals bullish, so you're generally bullish until the next sequence. New high right here, sweep, lower prices until the next sequence. So the high, yes, is protected, but it can be swept, right? It can be swept, but you will have your overall bias in mind. So you just try to framework your trade to go with it. Now, again, if you use HTF PD array with the tech, it will be way better because you'll have a reaction. Be sure of when the price will respect your level. So let's say you have this kind of candle right there, and it taps into a PD array, higher time frame PD array or something. Then that'll give you an idea that, okay, this candle will respect my HTF PD array, so you can take your trade there and your stop loss right under the PD array, and you let shit ride, right? But again, you gotta fractal it right. So low to high, high to low, low to high. And then this was a high, sweeped it, lower prices, new sequence, -1 was your important high, coming back into the highest point we made on our open, but then lower prices. New low, high, high, low, low, high, high, low. Super easy. Now the only candle that was that managed to close, not close, but get a certain sweep under this stack was the new sequence, right? So it works like this, right? And then let's look at NQ. Yeah, not NQ, but New York. So New York is a little bit better. There's more volume, so it's easier to get some nice trades from this. Here, it was a low because of these, well, pretty much the reaction we got from this, and we sweep the previous stack. So this was a low. Coming back into this SIBI, and, well, equal lows anyways, so you got an idea of price wanting to go and take it. Sweep the low of stack for then higher prices. Why is that? Bullish. So generally, you're going to be bullish for this trade. Higher prices. Now this is an inside bar. Inside bar just means that it's inside the previous bar and there's nothing telling you any bias. Now even the previous candle was an inside bar. So in this example, this stack is not extremely usable. I'd say you can use it as a PD ray. As I said, it's high probability PD rays, so you can just do this and you're happy with that. But you can't use it as a hold bias in a way. Right. Same here, was a high, so lower prices until this. This was a low. +1 was your actual low, but then higher prices into the new tech candle. Now keep in mind, as I just said, you're on the 3-minute. This is some really short spans, so about 12-minute. You can get some really small scalps into that, but that's not how you use TAC, right? You use TAC for other things, for automatic bias for longer term. So this is pretty much how it works, right? So high, lower prices, high, lower prices, low, higher prices. Super easy. But let's say you go on the 15-minute now. Now back on the M15, you can see that made a high, bearish until next one. Here, made a low and made a high. So this created a parent candle. What do we do with parent candles? It means you wait for a sweep to go to the next basis, right? Parent candles, super easy. I've made a video on this on my YouTube channel. You can go and watch it. Super nice. Super easy to understand too. It's kind of like candle range theory, but based on a single candle, a single type of pattern, which takes the low and the high of the candle. So this just means you wait for a sweep, then you go for the next prices. Yes, it was a high, but it was a low. So that's where you gotta be versatile on your bias. But here, once you took the high of the CRT, not the CRT, but the parent candle, and that you respected it twice, that becomes a bearish 15 tag, right? So until the next sequence, which would have been here, you're bearish, and then bullish 15 tag. Why is that? That created a low. That was a low. Next candle was the actual low, which swept the price, and then new candle was again a bullish 15 tag. So that just adds to the confirmation that maybe you have an HTF PD right here that tells you that, okay, you're going to reverse. These two candles here would have been your re-entry points, right? So bullish 15 tag until the next one right here. New one, that's a high. This would have been your bearish 15 tag until you close above it. So bearish 15 tag to bullish 15 tag, because once you close above this, you're not bearish anymore. Since your +1 was your actual high, you would have still been bearish here. But once you completely close above it and it's not a sweep anymore, that tells you that your bias will be changing, right? You can use that candle or that candle or that candle as a high probability PD ray in the future too, like here, just like that. And then you extended, this got retested into. Now that's that's mysterious. Why, huh? But anyways, this one closed above, bullish. Here, high, low, not determined because it's an inside bar. So what do? We look at the previous one or the next one. In this example, we took all this liquidity. Oh, we didn't take that liquidity. Yeah, this is like equal highs. So I'd be mitigated here since there's liquidity getting created. That's like triple equal highs. But I would have been bearish since the candle that was already printed was a high for me. So bearish 15 tech. Now we're only looking at the 15-minute, but that's because we're just doing our fractal endpoints from there. Now here was a low, so bullish 15 tech, right? But that's where the real magic comes in, okay? So how this works is, yes, we have our 15 tech, but let's say you go on the 1 hour or the 4 hour. Let's do 4 hours, right? 4 hour, and we're in this. What is our 4 hour giving us? That's a bullish 4 hour tech. So since it made a low, you're going to be bullish. So you're not going to be looking at the 15-minute tacks that are bearish. You're going to be looking at the 15-minute tacks that are bullish, trying to get an entry in there. Now here, same thing. This was a bullish 15 tack, 4 hour tack. Since it made a low, sweep the low and decided to keep bullish a little bit. Now here, made a low, made a high, so parent candle. Here, we're bullish at the start of the sequence since you closed above, retested it, closed above again. But then this price closed under it, right? So once price comes back into our range of the parent candle, as I said in the previous video of parent candles, you go from one range to the other. So this was bearish after. But it just helps you know which candle is the most important to be using. So then you go back on the 15-minute. And where's our 4 hour candle? There's our 4 hour, right? So 4 hour bullish, OHLC, right? If we remember correctly, OHLC. So open, low, high, close, right? So that just means that you did your open, accumulated, manipulated for the low, and then what did the low give you? 2 bullish 15 tech, because you're bullish on the 4 hour. So you wait for these two, get your entry in here, and just ride this one. And then if you want to be even more sniper, let's just say, you just go on the 3-minute, and with this framework, so bullish 15 tech, bullish 4 hour tech, you wait for the bullish 15 tech, and you wait for the right tech and right time. So 45.15 as always, 45.215, which is the normal, pretty much what do you say this? The basic macro in a way. It's really the basic macro that you're using. It's not advanced or anything. It's really just the basic macro that you got to be using for entries. So you have this tech high. You're not looking for a high because what? Because you're in a bullish 15 tech. You don't look for highs, you look for lows. So here you had your important low after sweeping the 15-minute tech. So then higher prices. You get your entry in here, stop loss right under this stack or right under the PD array that you're getting your entry off of, for then higher prices. And since this is a bullish 15, you don't mind if there's a 3-minute high, right? So this is why sometimes the highs might not look all that good. It's because the HTF tags are doing their work, right? So then here, bullish 15 tag, bullish 15 tag, bullish 15 tag. We finished this one, made a new high, bearish 15 tag, but we managed to close above it. Now, we managed to close above it, and a new tag got created right at the high. That means you can get a trade for bullish prices, right? Because you switched bullish, you waited for a tag low to come back into a BCM breaker, but then higher prices until the next tag. New tag, 15-minute. This is a low. You don't, well, not exactly a low. This is a parent candle. The parent candle, you wait for a sweep. There was a complete close here, but a new tag got created. Tag low, you don't care, you don't care, you don't care. Tag high, you could care about this one if you decided to get an entry from here and like stop loss above the candle of the SIBI. Depends about what you want. Here it was accumulating the fuck out, so I wouldn't have gotten an entry here. Here, new start of sequence, right? So the blue candles are the new starts of sequence. You have your 3 for higher prices. No, 1506. 1506 for higher prices, so this made a high. So then sweep for lower prices. You get your entry in here at this candle, stop loss above the previous stack, but then lower prices because what? You're in a bearish 15 tag. Then bullish 15. You have the -1, which was the actual low inside of this BPR and inside of that tag candle, because tag candles can be used as high probability PDRAs. Higher prices. Now it was the end of the day, but you get just the gist of it. Now this was only an example for 4-hour, but this works just as well in the daily, let's just say. So daily, 24 hours. You know, I don't have 24 hours, I have daily. Yeah. So here, price is kind of iffy on the daily for NQ, but you still get the gist of it. Here we made a low, so higher prices until the next sequence, which was here, high until there. So you're bearish for 4 days, then bullish for 3 days, then here bearish for, well, all these days. You were bearish technically because you couldn't take the high here, and well, once you have this new weak opening gap and just retesting into the body of the tag, sometimes it can change. You have this candle here which gave you bullish bias for about 4 days. Now this isn't the daily, so I'd recommend using this bias with the 4-hour or maybe the 1-hour max, because the daily is way too big of a time frame for you to be using on like the 3-minute, let's just say. But if you want to filter out everything, go from the daily, 4-hour, 1-hour, and just keep in mind that, okay, if the daily is if the daily bias for daily is bullish, then the 4-hour I'll only be looking for lows. I won't be looking for the highs on the H4, and then on the 1-hour I'll be looking for lows, not looking for the highs on the 1-hour, and then on the M15 I'll be looking for the lows and not looking for the highs. You know, it all depends on your way of doing things. This is completely compatible with any type of system, be it Goldback, be it support resistance, be it SIBI, BISI, be it Unicorn, really anything ICT, really anything. Since these are swing points, right? So they are predetermined swing points. It is not a repaint indicator. All these are predetermined by time. It's mechanical. There is no repaint. There is nothing AI generated. This took us a little bit of time to do, but yeah, this is pretty nice. We've been working on it for what, about 3.5 months too, since I've been using the OSTV and getting a bit deeper in the precision of time, right? We had our time cycles for about 2 years already, but this is something else. If you add, let's say, 90-minute cycles with the lows or the highs paired together for confirmation of which tag should do what, then this will give you a way better win rate, way easier ways of getting trades, right? But this is pretty much it. It's just a small showcase of the indicator. Now, if you are actually interested in buying tag, you can go into Discord. Anybody who does buy the indicator, I will do a one-on-one call with you. I will explain everything to you. I will explain how to use it more than this, since this is really just a quick video, even if it is 20 minutes on the showcase, right? It isn't entry types, it isn't anything like that. We're just looking at the showcase, just looking at what it does. But y'all have a great day, great night, great year, great month. If I don't see you again, and if I do see you again, I hope it'll be in my group, brother. Subscribe and like. Have a great day.